Welcome to the Red River Valley of North Dakota, a land flowing with milk and honey. You're watching Beet Farmin Mitch. Alright, so we'll let that guy warm up a little bit and then we'll hit the road. And so what we've got here is we've got our quad track field cultivator coil packer, and we're gonna go and work in some herbicide on some dry bean ground. And we want to use this because this will help mix it in good. We also have a little bit of more weed issues up there. My uncle was showing me a wild oats patch. That was kind of fun to see. You can really see it's just like a green grass spot out in the field. Maybe I can catch that. So we're gonna start with navy beans this year, and then we're gonna crack out the pinto beans, and then that's it. So we've been cruising right along. This has been a very fast-paced planting. Things have been going pretty smooth overall. I mean, we've planted most of our crop, like pretty much all of our crop, into good moisture in the ground. So that's a plus, but that's gonna disappear quick, and we're gonna need some timely rains to make sure that we do get a good crop. So we are set up pretty good right now. It was a little slow on germination. The soil was really cold, so it took a little bit longer for things to germinate and emerge. But we got sugar beets coming up now. We've got pretty much all of our wheat is poking up in every field. Some fields it's just a carpet. Some fields it's just kind of coming up in the ditches and whatnot. So let's hit the road. We got some herbicide to work in. working by a river and there's a forest by it, and I just love peering in here. It's like a magical forest garden. Haven't seen any deer, but there's a lot going on in there. Yeah, you definitely don't want to swing this guy into a power line. I'm pretty sure I heard a story one time about a guy who swung a cultivator into a power line and took the power line out, and it was just kind of like a stick dangling on the wires there because he ripped the bottom out. So that was kind of a wild story. So you always got to pay attention to your power lines, especially when there's all that voltage rolling through there. So now I'm out here in the Melrose multimeter. I tell you what, Melrose, what a fun company. They are no longer in business in their truest form. But yes, so this guy is the multi-weeder. It's a light tillage tool to some extent. We use this pretty much every spring, and the reason that we're using this on this field instead of the Salford is because in the end, if you compare this to the Salford, this kind of tends to work that herbicide barrier in a little bit nicer. In this field, we got more moisture to work with, and we're also trying to make sure we deal with any volunteer wheat that may grow in here because this was wheat ground last year. And so a volunteer crop is a crop that grows the next year when it was planted the year prior. So for example, if you have a garden, which if you like to garden, you'll probably have some tomatoes, radishes, onions, carrots, the whole 9 yards. But if say you have a little plot where you grew onions, okay? And then so you had onions one year, and then the next year you put tomatoes there, and then there was onions starting to grow on your tomatoes, and you're like, what the heck, I planted tomatoes here. But wait, it was onions last year, and those onions grew the next year. So those are volunteer onions, and in this case, they're unwanted onions. I know if you have some volunteer onions in your tomato patch, that might be a little bit of a summer surprise snack, but in this case, the wheat is not a summer surprise snack for us. Oh yeah, this puppy's vintage. She's even got the white striped tire over there. Pretty fancy. And so this is the multi-weeder, and these puppies are called Danish S-tines. They kind of got a built-in spring system. Well, are you even farming if you don't have a spare Danish S-tine in the cab? We're gonna spread fertilizer, we're gonna put down some herbicide, and we're gonna incorporate it so we got a nice built-up soil ready to grow some crops. Alright, so it sounds like for sure rain the next few days, and there's these spotted showers coming through. We had to stop planting. It was right at the end of when we finished planting a quarter, and so we were gonna move to this last 40-acre piece of navy beans we had left to plant, but we kind of got rained out, but not really. We had to stop because it started raining too much, and it looked like there was more coming. And we got a flat tire in the meantime on that thing, so they were fixing that up. And we got this 40-acre piece, and we think we got enough of a gap, so we're just gonna send it. We're just gonna go here, try hammer out the navy beans. This would be awesome if we could get it in, and it would be quite sad if we were a round or two short, but I think we can get it. So, aggressive. Well, we're just going by where he's planting here. He's just making his first round on the headland. There's the navy beans. Just in time. Well, praise the Lord, the drought is over. We got 1.5 to 2 inches of rain on all of our crops. So we're incredibly happy, like we needed that bad. We're gonna celebrate with some enchiladas from our local Mexican restaurant, which have pinto beans in them. Look at this nice pinto bean. You know, there's a chance we grew this. So we got a beef and bean enchilada here. Don't forget to eat your pinto beans. Thanks for watching.